Hi everyone, Harris here with iDownloadBlog.com. So while this is now possible with iOS 13 to have AirPods in one ear and Powerbeats Pro in the other connected to the same phone, I'm guessing you're here to pick between the two. So if you want to know which device, which pair of earphones are going to be better for you between the AirPods and the Powerbeats Pros, I've been using this for the past month plus with running and exercising and casual usage, so I'm going to let you know which one might be right for you. So I'm actually going to start with the things I like better about the Powerbeats Pros, and then I'm going to tell you why I ultimately like the AirPods better. Okay, so the first thing I like better about the Powerbeats Pro would be the design. Now, the AirPods do stay in my ears well, and they've never fallen off in casual usage, and even when I'm running, my left AirPod will stay in my ear without issue, but my right one has a little bit of issue, so I use some rubber ear tips, which basically lock them in, and they do an awesome job of keeping them in my ear. So I'm not really worried about them coming out, but there still is that factor of bumping it with your shoulder or getting brushed off in an altercation or something like that. They could fall out, get run over, stepped on, lost, whatever. With these, when they're on, they are on and they're locked into place and sturdy. They are never going to accidentally fall off, at least not very likely, and if you do, they're going to stick out a little bit more because they're a little bit bigger, but they're just going to stay on your ears better, and I have a lot more peace of mind when I'm exercising because I don't need to worry about extra ear tips when I'm going around. They work very well and they're very secure, which is particularly good for exercise. Now up next would actually be the functionality of the buttons. So on the AirPods you have double tap, which isn't bad but does not work all the time, at least not perfectly, especially when you're exercising and running. So you have double tap and you can change that between going forward, backward, or Siri, and you can do that on the right and left. So you basically get two controls. Of course, you can activate Siri with your voice command just like you can on these. But the controls on the Powerbeats Pros are so much better. Single tap to pause or play, double tap to skip forward, triple tap to skip back, hold to get to Siri, and there are dedicated volume buttons, and these are on both sides of the earphones. Whichever hand is free and whichever control you want to do, there are a lot more options on the Powerbeats Pros than there are on the AirPods, and when you're running or you don't want to go to your phone, this is awesome for really quick controls, and when you don't want to activate Siri, you can control almost everything that you would need to right from the Powerbeats, which is something you definitely cannot do from the AirPods. And then finally, the big difference between these would be battery life. So the AirPods battery life is fine. If it's fully charged, you won't have an issue if you're going to exercise unless you're going for more than 3.5 hours, depending on volume and microphone usage and things like that. It's not great. And AirPods definitely do deteriorate over time. My first pair of AirPods, I think, went down to like 50% capacity in a year, and that's awful. The Powerbeats Pros last genuinely over 9 hours. You can be listening to this for a very, very long plane ride or for a train or a road trip and not have to charge it. I did it coming back from New York to Ohio without needing to charge these. Standby mode is awesome. I've left them uncharged for days, put them back on, gone for an hour run, not had an issue. That is a killer feature with these if you're somebody who sometimes will forget to charge your devices and you don't want to have to worry about that fear. These have never died on a run, and you can throw it on the charger for a few minutes and have enough battery life for a good workout or run or whatever you are doing. This battery life isn't terrible, and if you keep it charged, it will be fine. And it also features wireless charging, although truthfully, I'm not sure that it even works most of the time. I've had some issues with the wireless charging on here. These lack it all together, but the battery life is just so much better, like 2 to 3 times better consistently on the Powerbeats Pros. Don't know how much it'll deteriorate over time. That the time will tell, but definitely big advantage for the Powerbeats Pros. Okay, but that's where the advantages stop. The AirPods have wireless charging, like I mentioned. They come in at $50 less or even more if you don't go for the AirPods 2, which you don't really need, so you get the money savings. The next big thing would be the size. I mean, the Powerbeats are not huge, and if you have a gym bag, they're great, and you can throw them in there, but there's no lanyard to attach it to a bag. It doesn't really fit comfortably in your pocket. I would never carry these in my pocket. That's just awkward and uncomfortable, but the AirPods fit in the palm of your hand, fit into any pocket. Anywhere you put them, they will fit. They're so compact. Seriously, that dental floss design, I don't care because it's so portable, and I really, really like that. to take it around and not have to worry about the size of it. That is a huge difference for me and my on-the-go life. And then finally, I personally like the sound of the AirPods so much better. Now, I know I am a minority with this. Most people actually like the slightly bassier sound of the Powerbeats better. And if you like deep bass, then the Powerbeats are for you. And in fact, a lot of people actually are really thrilled by the sound of the Powerbeats. I was disappointed to find out that I am not one of those people. I find that the bass is overwhelming and it leaves the highs and the mids a little bit tinny. Like, it does not sound good to me at all. And I love when I go back to these, it just sounds so much richer and fuller. If you can try them out for yourselves, definitely try it. But I do think that most people would agree that the Powerbeats sound better. But for me, 10 out of 10, I will go for the AirPods for sound quality. So for that reason alone, almost, the sound quality, I like the AirPods better. If I thought these sounded better, which you might, this would be very compelling because for running, they're awesome. The battery life is fantastic and the controls are really perfect. But I'm keeping this because I like the sound quality better and because I like the portability. Otherwise, I would go for these because the design and functionality are awesome. Let me know which of these are better for you. Let me know what you think about the sound quality, the price point, the design, all that kind of stuff. Leave your pick down below between the AirPods, 1 or 2, and the Powerbeats Pros. Thank you so much for watching. I will leave links to both of these devices in the description if you want to check them out. I will get a small percentage back if you do that, so you would be supporting the channel. But thanks so much for watching.